Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Kori Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se ko Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Syamakund Radha Kund Girioran ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki jai. Sri Jamuna Maya Ganga Maya Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premananda. All glories are some of the devotees. All glories are some of the devotees. All glory are some of the devotees. Jai Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Text 31, the first step in God realization. Jannamsi anantasya shiro ginanti tamstra yama sneha kala dvijani haso janonmada hari kari cha maya duranta sargo yad apanga moksha chandamsi anantasya shiro gananti tamstrayamasneha kala dvijani haso janon marakari chamaya duranta sargo yarapanga moksha chandam anantasya shiro grananti tamstrayam yamasneha kala dvijani haso janon madakari chamaya duranta sargo yarapanga moksha chandam anantasya shiro grananti tamstrayamasneha kala avigin dvijani haso janon marakari chamaya duranta sargo yarapanga moksha samsi anantasya shiro gananti samstrayamasneha kala dvijani samaya duranta sargo yarapanga moksha chandam anantasya shiro grananti tamstra kalavijani grananti Tamsaya Maksneya Kala Dvijani Haso Janonmada Kari Samaya Taranga Sago Yarapanga Moksha Chandam Sianantasya Shiro Gananti Tamstra Yamasneha Kala Dvijani Haso Janonmada Kari Chamaya Usago Yarapanga Moksha Mataji Chandam Sianantasya Shiro Gananti Tamstra Yamasteha Kala Dvijani Aso Janonmada Kari Chamaya Durante Sargo Yadapanga Matajis Chandam Sianantasya Shiro Gananti Tamstra Yamasteha Kala Vijani Aso Janonmada Kari Chamaya Durante Sargo Yarapanga Moksha Chandam Sianantasya Shiro Gananti Tamstra Vijani Janonmada Kari Chamaya Durante Sargo Yarapanga Moksha Chandam Si. The Vedic hymns Anantasya of the Supreme, Shira, the cerebral passage, Grananti, they say, Tamstra, the jaws of teeth, Yama, Yamaraj, the director of sinners, Snehakala, the art of affection, Dvijani, the set of teeth, Hasa, smile, Jana Unmadakari, the most alluring, Cha, also, Maya, illusory energy, Duranta, insurpassable, unsurpassable. Take that back. Insurpassable. The board says un, this says in. Sarga, the material creation. Yadapanga, whose glance. Moksha, casting over. Translation. They say that the Vedic hymns are the cerebral passage of the Lord, and his jaws of teeth are Yama, god of death, who punishes the sinners. The art of affection is his set of teeth, and the most alluring, illusory material energy is his smile. This great ocean of material creation is but the casting of his glance over us. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. According to Vedic assertion, this material creation is the result of the Lord's casting a glance over the material energy, which is described herein as the most alluring, illusory energy. The conditioned souls who are allured by such materialism should know that the material temporary creation is simply an imitation of the reality, and that those are captivated by such alluring glances of the Lord are put under the direction of the controller of sinners called Jamaraj. The Lord smiles affectionately, displaying his teeth. The intelligent person who can grasp these truths about the Lord becomes a soul fully surrendered unto him. Chandam Syanantasya Shirogananti Damstrayama Sneha Kala Avigya Jani Haso Janunmada Kari Chamaya Duranta Sargo Yarapanga Moksha. They say that the Vedic hymns are the cerebral passage of the Lord, and his jaws of teeth are Yama, god of death, who punishes the sinners. The art of affection is his set of teeth, and the most alluring illusory material energy is his smile. The great ocean of material creation is but the casting of his glance over us. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. Here the description of the Virat Purusha is given. Prabhupada has also said, if you can't see Krishna directly, then you can see in the mountains, that is Krishna's bones. And the lakes, rivers and oceans, that's Krishna's stomach. And there was one other. The trees are Krishna's hairs. Thank you very much. That these are all forms of the Lord that one can meditate upon if one can't see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our Srila Prabhupada came some 55 years ago to Boston Harbor in New York and went out only with few boys, no mridanga drum, just I think bongos or tom-tom. I don't even know what they call. And he chanted the Hare Krishna mantra in Tompkins Square Park. Anybody who's been there, now they have a beautiful memorial. The tree that Prabhupada sat under, they have memorialized, put a plaque in Tompkins Square Park commemorating our Srila Prabhupada and his chanting under that tree. So some boys were coming, some girls were coming, and Srila Prabhupada would chant. I think he said from 2 in the afternoon till 5 in the afternoon, or 12 to 3. 3 hours, non-stop. If one was chanting some mundane mantra or mundane vibration, you could never last for so many hours chanting and still enthusiastic, singing and still enthusiastic. But Srila Prabhupada, by his chanting alone, of course, Golokera Premadan, Harinam Sankirtan. The chanting of the holy names that comes from Goloka, from the spiritual world. And Srila Prabhupada's chanting brought that spiritual world to everyone that participated and who was ever within a short distance, for sure. Srila Prabhupada was saying in one lecture that he gave this lecture in 1973. I believe it was here in Los Angeles. And he said in the old days, in the beginning days, old days were 7, 8 years prior. 73 was this lecture. Prabhupada said in the old days, we didn't even have prasadam. Prabhupada was making some chapatis for whoever would come to 26 2nd Avenue and making some sabji. But for distribution, there was no prasadam. Was the holy names of Krishna, the chanting. And simply by chanting these holy names, because Krishna is non-different from his holy name. The entire Krishna consciousness movement became spread and people gave their lives. Prabhupada said, I forget the word he used, not blackmailed, what is it, paid off, something like that. I haven't given, yeah, I haven't bribed anyone, something like that. I can't remember the exact word Prabhupada used. But they're coming and they're chanting. They're chanting 24 hours in a day. Not that everyone was seeing Krishna immediately. Here it's saying the different ways in which one can see Krishna. Of course, the deity was there in the temple. Picture of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, the pure devotee, there chanting, giving his association. But the devotees who were extremely neophyte, not that we're so advanced, but even so new, they didn't know what was to be done, not to be done. One story, Srila Prabhupada went to the apartment of Mukunda Maharaj, early days. And there was a lady there in his house. It was a studio loft, I believe. So Prabhupada said, oh, this is your wife. Mukunda Maharaj was a young man, maybe 21 or 2 or 3. He said, no, Srila Prabhupada. Is a girlfriend. And Srila Prabhupada looked and they said, Mukunda Maharaj said, he didn't understand how you have somebody with you in your apartment and it's not your wife. This Western culture is so foreign to the pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada was externally confused. So devotees, they had not such a high standard. But Srila Prabhupada was giving them different ways. We heard the other day. You drink water and recite Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the taste and water. I am the ability. Krishna's mercy, you're able to do something nice. I am the ability in man. I'm the power of the strong. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Smaller than the smallest, and Krishna says bigger than the biggest. Krishna is. Srila Prabhupada said they made one airplane, this was years and years and years ago, 747, so big, and they're very proud of very big airplane, but Srila Prabhupada said at the time, can they make one little insect, tiny, 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 that can fly like the 747? Of course, these days, they have drones. I don't know how small they can get them. I'm not sure. But Prabhupada was saying, is that small? Prabhupada said, can they make smaller than the smallest? Can they make bigger? Kardamamuni, I think it was. He built a whole city with lakes and parks that was flying. So there are so many ways, but the ultimate way of knowing Krishna is knowing Krishna in his personal feature. We heard the other day from Bhadinarayan Swami about the Brahma Samhita, the Govinda prayers. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchit Ananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govindam, Sarva Karna Karnam. Ishvara Parama, the Supreme Controller, Ishvara Parama Krishna, that is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchit Ananda Vigraha. He has an eternal form, Satchit Ananda, full of knowledge, eternality, and blissfulness in form. Anadir Adir, Govinda, he's the origin of all origins with no origin himself. Sarva Karna Karnam, and the cause of all causes. Srila Prabhupada was teaching what is that personal God. Besides seeing God through chanting, knowing what God actually looks like, where he lives, what his pastimes are. He told a story in one lecture I was listening to, that a wife was sitting across from her husband at the table. And she looked at him and said, chant, chant, chant. Maybe some of you know this. And his response was, can't, can't, can't. This is the nature of the material world. Krishna is asking us to chant. He will reveal himself by us chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But we are so poor funded, poor situation that we say can't, can't, can't. We have so many excuses. We'd rather be idle. I know when I was working, my father got me a job at his work, University of Illinois. as I think I was 16. And we had to lift up all the canned goods and put them in a hand truck and move them to different parts of the facility. It was physical work. And the older men, I was only a teenager, they were teaching me that every chance you get, when the boss isn't looking, just hide someplace and be idle. There's no need to work. Don't work so hard. Just find an idle spot, find a spot and hide. Don't get caught. This is the nature of the material world. We want to, so-called, relax and stop activities. Want to just remain idle. But an idle mind is the devil's workshop. In Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Gita tells us, Satatam kirtayanto mam, yitantas cha dhridavrata. One is always chanting. One is always engaged in devotional service. Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam. By constantly engaging in devotional service, one gets to understand. But we're thinking, let me relax. They had given me one pill, and I was wondering, I was feeling so tired. At the hospital, they gave one pill. And when I left, I was so exhausted. And my son picked up the bottle and said, could you look at what you're taking? It said on the bottle, may cause extreme drowsiness and lethargy. And then in yellow, in bold letters, do not operate heavy machinery or drive a motorized vehicle while on this drug. So I told the doctor, I'm supposed to take this? And he said, yeah, just twice a day, morning and evening. I said, 1 week or what? No, you take this for at least 6 months to a year. So people are thinking that this stage of lethargy is happy state of consciousness. Let me tell you something. It's not. We were going over the bookkeeping for BBT, and we had to write, Sura Prabhu had to write a check to BBT International for Sridham Mayapur, Temple of Vedic Planetarium. And every year, this BBT gives $300,000 to $400,000 out of book sales for building Sridham Mayapur, more than any other BBT. So Savas asked me to look up and see if we'd paid anything already, and I'll write the check. So on the pills, I took the pill early in the morning. I looked it up, I couldn't find anything. I didn't even know what I was looking for. So Savas wrote a major check. And luckily, Jagadish Prabhu was checking. I'm not so sure Sir is all there. And he saw, oh, we already gave $250,000 earlier in the year. If you give again, then we'll end up giving $600,000 instead of $350,000. So luckily he was there and he caught that. But this is, people want to be very idle. But that idle mind is the devil's workshop. Therefore, in our Krishna consciousness movement, we stay busy 24 hours in a day, chanting, serving, worshiping, praying, offering everything to, studying the Vedic literatures, discussing with devotees, going on the preaching activities, chanting, and understanding Krishna as a person. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We're praying every morning as we greet the deity, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha, that Krishna is the form of bliss. He is full of knowledge and bliss. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, first progenitor, who's tending cows, yielding all desires, in abodes full of spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis. These are the Govinda prayers we're chanting every morning. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute. He's not just the Virata Rupa, but he's adept in playing on his flute with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head bedecked with peacock feather, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids. This is Krishna. This is who we're worshiping. This is who we're learning to appreciate. Not just an impersonal form, not just a grandiose form, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated on the altar, who is situated within the heart of all living entities, who is situated in his own abode, Goloka Vrindavan. And the more we chant, and the more we serve 24/7, non-stop. No, let's take a break. The more we serve, the more we'll be able to see Krishna as the personality of Godhead. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. You know, Judah was supposed to give class. No, it was Judah Karma. Oh. Judah called and canceled.